How do you want to introduce this one? Just like this? We'll just be like, how do you want to do that?
Sure.
All right.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's the intro.
Yep, there's the intro.
That's it.
Well, what's up, everybody? It's me, Jed, and Daniel, and
I'm Ashley.
Ashley's a new host.
Yes. So tell us about yourself. Give us a little bit of insight on you.
I live in Morgantown. I run a jewelry business. I'm a mom and a wife, and this is something to get me out of the house to where I don't have to listen to kids and I get adult interaction.
Well, you're still going to have to listen to kids.
As long as you don't beg for snacks,
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Adult interaction.
Yeah.
Adult interaction.
I also beg for snacks, so
Yeah.
you're kind of.
Well,
I won't ever turn down
I'll
a fruit
bring
roll.
snacks next time.
So, Daniel,
So, Jed,
I had a thought.
it's
Not
fleeting.
there anymore.
You're losing your mind, just like you lost your hair.
Aw.
Okay.
No, that was a quick process. The mind has been gradually
This is gradually going. Gradually going.
over
You
years.
have
and
great
years.
hair.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you.
You have very, very luscious hair.
I think everybody in my family would kill to have my hair.
Really? Is your family balding?
My younger brother is. My older brother's not,
That
but he keeps his hair really
sucks.
short. Yeah.
I would be mad if I was balding and my brother had a whole head of hair.
I think, well, it's weird because I get just growing up, you could tell that I would look more like my dad's side of the family than
Yeah.
everybody else looked like more like my mom's. And balding apparently skips a generation, or so they say.
Yeah, it didn't for me.
Yeah, but my grandfather on both sides of my family, both bald. My dad's bald. My older brother's not. I'm not, but my younger brother is.
What if
so
you're
it's like
adopted?
I was, speaking of my younger brother, was I adopted?
I like to think so.
So I'm curious, how did you hear about the podcast?
Chris Rabb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
He's not dead. He just had to focusing
to
on his
us.
band stuff. No.
I just saw him the other day, actually.
I was really mad because I had to miss their show.
Oh, the one, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even
The one they did
see
with,
anything about it until afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
I did make the one that they did with, who else was on that? I don't remember, but the problem was that they went last. And
it was at 1,
of
2,
course
3?
it was at 1, 2, 3.
yeah. So you.
When
So
was
I
it?
was like $20 into Black Labels, which is a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
case,
a lot.
almost.
And I made sure to stay until they got on and started playing, and then I was like, okay, I need to go.
What, was this in December?
No, I don't think it was that far back.
Oh. The last time I saw them play was December.
I think it was after December,
I don't remember.
because he was recording with us at the time.
Well, they
So I
started.
guess it could have been December.
Yeah, because they start. I mean,
It was like right before Christmas, like a week or two before Christmas
Yeah.
that I saw them.
It's possible.
yeah.
I don't know. My memory.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one we
what
went
it used to be.
Maybe. No, I don't remember. Anyway,
But anyway,
Yeah.
I saw him a couple months ago, and he was telling me he mentioned a podcast, and he was telling me about this. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll give it a listen. And then I was like, probably not really going to listen to it. And, and he was like kind of giving me a little bit of insight on it. And he was like, don't listen to it with your kids in the room. Like, you can't do that.
But
and
you
I was
can
like,
now that
well,
he's
now
gone.
I'm intrigued. No, but that's why I'm here. I'm
oh,
gonna
that's
make
fair.
it-
Fair. Okay.
But no, I was definitely more intrigued when I found out that it was like a grown-up podcast. Like,
Yeah.
it made it sound more fun.
We
Do you-
tried it. Oh, go ahead.
Shut up, Daniel.
All right. Just push it over there.
Do you listen to any other podcasts?
I'm new to the podcast game. I just
Yeah.
recently got in the Joe Rogan.
Okay.
So
That's a fun one.
It's a heavy
yeah,
hitter.
I love Joe Rogan a lot. Honestly, I don't know if I've listened to much of anything besides you guys and Joe Rogan.
Hell
See,
yeah.
I like his podcast because, and I would hope that, we emulate a little bit of that. That
It's fun, yeah.
with his podcast, he brings a lot of really interesting people on the show, and then they just have a conversation
and I enjoy that.
and just
yeah.
talk. and
I enjoy that because it's something I can listen to when I'm working and
Yeah.
stuff. Like I don't like I can just listen to people's conversation and like
Did you see the one that he did with Alex Jones?
no.
Oh, God, do you not know who that is? Alex
I
Jones.
don't think I've seen that one either.
Oh man, it was wild. Well, you know who that is, right? Mm-hmm. The guy, the lunatic.
I don't.
No,
No.
he had like a radio show, or was it a radio show, or like a satellite radio show, or maybe it was even a podcast. I can't remember, but he was like, I want to say alt-right. I don't know if that's the right classification because I'm not really up to speed on these things, but like nutcase, like tin hat wearer.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And dude was just crazy. Like, lost his show because he just was saying the most outrageous, incorrect, like borderline libel things about people. And Joe Rogan brought him on his podcast and was just like, "Why are you like this?" and then they just had the typical like 2-hour long Joe Rogan conversation and things just.
Dude, he gets out there. Joe Rogan gets super out there.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he'll get off on these tangents and it's like 10 minutes later I don't even know where he's at, and then he's just kind of got to bring himself back into it. Like, but I listened to him and Tommy Chong. He had Tommy Chong on his show, and like, whew, it was a lot. Like, Tommy Chong was just like, it was crazy stuff, and like I was almost there with him, but then he would get just a little crazier, and I'm like, you lost me.
You're like trying to hang on. You're just like, I don't think I can.
And I'm like, I'm still enjoying it, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, are you from here originally?
No, I'm from Doddridge County.
Doddridge County. Ooh,
Yeah.
where at?
There's like, I mean, do you know anything about Doddridge County?
Yeah, my
Okay, because there's only like one town in Doddridge County.
yeah. So my great uncle used to live up Snowbird.
Okay, not there.
Okay.
I'm close to the Ritchie County line.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Oxford area.
There's a lot of nothing out there.
There's a lot of nothing out. There's a jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
And
I
there's,
first moved
like,
to Morgantown,
one
people either had
school?
no idea. Yeah, one school. I graduated from that school. Yeah, there's like people either don't know where Doddridge County is or they only know where the jail's at. Like, and that's the only thing that's in Doddridge County.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever been in Doddridge County other than just to go to my uncle's farm.
Yeah. That's
'Cause-
Snowbird, you said? Mm-hmm. That's like out towards the park.
Yeah, so like oh man, it's been a long time, but I think you like got off the exit and went past the park, and then it was like it was like a couple miles past that, and then you went up a gravel road, and then it was like 7 miles up a gravel
Sounds like
1-lane
every
road.
place in Doddridge County.
And then it was on like
7 miles
the
and then
other
there's a
side of a
booklet.
river, and there was a bridge that you had to cross to get to his house that was like part of his driveway.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I used to love going up there though, because like us kids would just go get lost in the
Oh,
woods.
yeah. There's nothing. I mean, coyotes maybe, but it's
Yeah.
like less dangerous than anywhere here.
I remember I was out there hunting with him once, and
You hunt?
only in Dodgers County. I did when I was younger. I don't hunt now. I'm just too lazy for it, honestly.
It's
Waking
work.
up that early.
That's the thing.
That's- yeah, it's
it's a
work.
lot of work, and like I used to hunt because I enjoyed just shooting guns, but then I kind of got that out of me whenever
Yeah,
I was in the
especially if
military.
you kill
I
something,
don't really
it goes.
want.
It's a lot of work for the rest of the
Oh,
day.
Yeah, and like I catch a lot of flack for this, but like I don't really like deer meat all that much.
It's so good.
It's
Like-
so good.
I'd much rather beef.
No,
I'm a red meat
sorry,
beef
you're
kind of
wrong.
guy. I'd much rather just have a nice burger. But that was another reason was like, I would hunt and then I would have all this deer meat, and it's like I'd feel bad if I didn't eat it.
Right? Yeah.
So then
That's
I'd
the whole
make
point of
myself
hunting.
eat
You
it, and then
should
I'm
eat
like,
it
this
if you're
sucks.
killing
Like I don't really want to have to eat all this deer meat, but
Deer meat's so good.
I also don't
so
want to just
good.
give it away because why am I out here hunting? So I don't anymore, but I love trout, and I also don't fish anymore because, like I said, I'm very lazy. So
Yeah,
fishing.
I fished when I was a kid, but I was never much of a fisher.
if I was to pick up another outdoorsy recreational sport like that, it would definitely be fishing.
I like hobbies where I can sit down.
Yeah,
I'm a good sitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
See, I think with fishing,
I enjoy chairs.
the struggle for me with fishing was that I had always just trout fished, and trout fishing's kind of boring. Like,
Isn't that
unless
like-
you like
You're not
fly.
doing
I was
Right,
gonna say, were you like fly fishing?
But I don't want to spend the money to fly fish.
yeah, I have friends that fly
expensive.
fish.
Whenever
and
I
they're
probably would
constantly-
only do it like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I was hunting in Doddridge County, and we were hunting raccoons at night because he always had hunting dogs. And the dogs had got off on a scent, and we were tracking them, and there was a mountain lion.
Oh.
Never saw it. We just heard it because it screamed.
Yeah. I've
And
never seen one.
That was the most terrifying thing
Oh,
I
yeah.
have ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
We all were just like, okay, we're just
We're
going to
done
go
now.
back. Like, the dogs know how to get back.
We're good.
We're
You
just
left
going to
the
head
dogs?
back. They wouldn't come back. We called
Oh.
for them. We waited about 15 minutes, and then it screamed again. And we were like, okay. Because
gonna
all we
get-
had was like a 22 and a 20 gauge shotgun. 'Cause
Yeah.
We were just hunting raccoon. So,
Just beat it to death with a gun.
yeah. I mean, in all likelihood, it probably wouldn't have messed with us.
Yeah.
But you never know whenever you're going to get one of those territorial ones that ain't too happy that you in its woods.
Yeah, I've seen people catch them on like their deer cams
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, but I've never seen one. Again, probably because I'm sitting inside.
Yeah. This was
I don't
also
know
like
where I would be where I would see one.
this was also a couple of months after I think the guy died, if I remember right, but he was deer hunting in a tree stand. He was bow hunting, and a bobcat attacked him in the tree stand, and I want to say he died.
In Doddridge County?
Shit.
I don't remember if it was in Doddridge County, but it was somebody that my grandpa knew.
If we talk later, I probably know your grandpa. Everybody knows everybody. in
Yeah,
Doddridge County.
that's very
yeah,
true.
everybody.
Yeah. What about you, Daniel?
What about me?
Have you ever been to Doddridge County?
I dated a girl there back in high school. And the distance, I think, from where I lived,
Yeah, I was gonna say you drove all the way to Doddridge County in high school.
yeah, we didn't last very long because of that.
That's
didn't have-
why.
She didn't have a car.
I
Well,
haven't
that,
been
and I'm
back
just a
there in
horrible
years.
person.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why the distance.
I didn't
Yeah.
really care that much.
No, isn't that where Drew and Maggie live out that way?
Yeah, I don't know if it's in
Towards-
Doddridge County. I think
I'm
it's
not sure.
past Doddridge
Yeah.
County, maybe.
Yeah, they live pretty far out there. But yeah, never spent too much time out there. So, know where it's at.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, unless you farm, hunt, or fish,
Or enjoy jail.
or that.
Been known to go to jail a few times. Been there a couple times.
Both international and national.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun story.
Man of many flavors.
Yeah.
International.
It wasn't even jail, it was a terrorist holding facility.
Oh. Was it the beard?
I think
no,
you've told
no,
this.
I was actually clean shaven. Like I was like the emo kid. Like
think
the
you've
long,
told this
straight
story
black hair.
before.
I have. Yeah.
I don't remember who we were talking to. It might have been Maggie.
Possible.
Yeah.
Or a band, maybe.
Are you talking about Vertical Vixens, Maggie?
Yeah.
I started that one the other day. And I didn't get a chance to finish it.
It's a
Love
good
Maggie.
one. I shouldn't have released it in 2 episodes.
No.
I thought that was such a good idea when we started, like, oh, we can, 2 episodes. And like the first episodes would always do great. The second episodes, not so much. So people would like not listen to the second episode.
I just don't have the time.
So-
I have to like listen to every episode in like 4 segments.
Yeah.
Like I always
They are
come
pretty
back
long.
to them.
See, I'm one of those weird people that like if it's good, I'll listen to it. Like I don't care. I'm pretty sure we talked about it last time you were here. If I don't know if we did or not, I don't remember. But
You made that up.
But my favorite podcast is Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Shameless plug. I want him to get more listeners because he's awesome, and then maybe he'll release content quicker. But
Isn't he the one that does like the 5, like the long ones?
yeah, like so he releases like an episode like every 4 or 5 months, but they're like anywhere from 3 to like 6 hours.
Cool.
But
I
they're
need to get
so
in
I
on
want
that.
good.
to listen to that.
But they're so good. Like like the whole concept is that it's just like raw, unedited, unadulterated history.
Yeah.
So like one of my favorite series that he's done so far, he did one that was called Kings of Kings, I think, or King of Kings, I can't remember. But it was basically about like the rise and fall of the Persian Empire.
Okay.
And then he did another one that was a 7-part series It was called Blueprint to Armageddon, and it was the start to finish of World War One, and how like World War One revolutionized warfare, like from that point forward. Because
So
it
you're
was
a history buff.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
big time, yeah. And then there's American history tellers.
I
I
probably
like that
was
one.
a little more when I had more brain cells.
I actually just subscribed to it because it sounds awesome. I know
It
you've
does
talked
sound
about
good, yeah.
talked about it
that's so
before,
awesome.
and I listen to at least an hour and a half, if not more, a day of podcasts. Typically, it's just NFL stuff because I'm going to win the fucking league this year.
Are you though?
I am. Somebody stole it from me last year.
I stole it from you the year before too.
No, you didn't.
I've knocked you out both years.
You're right. You did. Oh shit. Yep.
Yeah.
It's my year, and I've done well.
You always do really well throughout the whole season.
It's because how
and
Michael
then I
sets it up.
crush you.
Because Michael sets it up to where it doesn't end until the last week of the season, or the
No, I knocked you out in the semifinals.
Yeah, well, it's because
the first year.
9 times out of 10, it's because my quarterbacks perform great all year, and then in the last, or like the semifinals, they score like 6 points a game.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, we need
Fuck
to
you,
end it
Jared
like a
Goff.
week. We need to end it a week or two earlier.
agreed. You play fantasy football?
No.
No.
I assumed that's what you were talking about.
I honestly never was a huge football fan. Like I would watch it if it was on, but it just never really interested me all that much until I started playing fantasy football.
Yeah. I worked at a sports bar for a while. And so, I mean, I watched it.
So you got good at pretending to care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't openly not care about football working at this bar.
Oh, right.
People took it very personally. And so I was just like, I clapped when other people clapped and like totally just faked
You're
it.
clapping for both teams.
Yeah.
It's like,
You can't lose if you cheer for both teams. I mean, I legitimately have no idea what's going on. Like, I used to be this sounds so redneck. I used to be a super big NASCAR fan.
oh man, yeah.
Really?
He's
Yeah.
going to a NASCAR race.
I'm going to my first NASCAR race.
Oh,
in
you're gonna love
September.
it.
It's my best friend's.
Where are you going?
Richmond.
Okay, I've never been there. I've been to Martinsville
It's my best friend's bachelor party.
at a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad for saying it. But no, I used to be a super big NASCAR fan, and that's pretty much as far as my sports interest ever went. Again, I like sitting. I enjoy apparently watching people sit and drive around in circles.
Yeah.
Like running looks like a lot of work.
That's why I like watching people do it. Because I'm not the one doing it. Like, it's like, you go.
It's so funny. Like you
run.
sit
You look like you're
there.
doing a good job.
We sit there eating our pizza and drinking beer and generally being unathletic and lazy, and we're just like, catch the damn ball.
Run faster.
You're not.
Come on,
you
you piece of
slow. You
Oh, yeah,
dropped it.
That'd probably be the equivalent of me watching NASCAR. I'm not a good driver at all. Like, I could never, ever race anyone. Like, I would die quickly. But, like, I really enjoy watching it. Like, I guess maybe that would be the same as watching football for people that are just sitting on their couch drinking beer.
Have you ever seen like the high level kart racing,
No,
Like
like the go kart racing?
no.
where people build their own, or
Bro, it is terrifying because it's just like normal ass go karts. They look like normal go karts at
Yeah.
least, but they do like 100+ miles an hour.
Oh,
yeah,
that
no,
sounds
I'm good.
terrifying.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd watch it,
like it's
but I'm
wild.
Not gonna, I'm not gonna.
Wild.
I'm not gonna do it myself.
Like just watching the like GoPro footage, like whenever you're watching them do the races, kind of makes me nauseous because they're just like zipping through these turns and like yeah.
I've never been a big fan of like any kind of racing, like nothing like
Really?
that. Yeah, horse races, NASCAR.
I mean, you know, I love me some MotoGP,
Yeah.
motorcycle
No, no,
racing.
yeah.
Is like
I went to some when I was younger.
my
like,
big thing.
Yeah, I've been to High Point and
No, see, I like the street racing.
oh. I thought you meant like
No, like road racing.
okay, no, that's never
Like
been
the
my thing.
big, like 200 horse, or well, actually, it's like 350 horsepower now, but like 220+ mile an hour road bikes.
Oh, that would make me nervous.
Oh man, I actually
Watching
plan
it
on.
Sounds
me
like
nervous.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
just talking about it like makes me nervous.
I actually plan on later this year, hopefully later this year. If not later this year, definitely early next year. I'm gonna buy my first bike with the intention of converting it into a race bike and start taking up just amateur road racing.
So you've never rode before?
No, I've rode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've never raced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
No.
thought you were telling me. I was like,
No. I've definitely. Yeah. I've been riding
tell you how to
for.
live your life.
I think going on like 3 years now.
It's been a few years
It's
now,
been a
yeah.
couple of years.
Okay.
I picked it up late because I didn't trust myself,
Yeah.
which was probably a good call.
Yeah.
But no, I just want to race. I'm old enough to know not to do that kind of stuff on the street.
Not to be an idiot.
Yeah. I've seen enough people get schwacked to
Oh, yeah.
not really want to put myself in that kind of a position, but I do want to race. So
That'd be
I
cool.
figure do it the right way.
That'd be cool.
Maybe save some skin in the process.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see.
You turned a bike over recently, didn't you?
Define turn a bike over.
You laid it down.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, not shiny side up.
Yeah, it was my wife's bike.
Oh.
Yeah. I low-sided it into a guardrail, doing like 45.
It was terrifying. That's the reason I don't ride, is because I don't trust myself. I don't trust other people. I don't trust
Yeah.
other people while I'm driving.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, I've only ever been in one accident that was my fault, and it's because I fell asleep. So it's like, 33, doing pretty good with that. But every other time that I've been in an accident, I've either been hit or just a passenger in the
Yeah.
car. So it's like, I just don't trust other people around me.
Yeah,
So-
that's been most of the I've had a couple of my own sketchy moments where like I did something wrong, misjudged a corner, gave it too much brake, too much throttle, something, the bike got a little squirrely, but for the most part it's just been other people texting, blowing red lights and not paying attention and almost rear-ending me in traffic.
Thinking a bike can stop super fast if they get in the way.
Yeah,
like,
they just pull right out in front of
Yeah.
you like
Yeah, I watch people do that shit a lot.
yeah. But you just kind of have to be aware.
Yeah.
Try to
So if you're listening to this driving,
please
and
put
you're
your
one
phone
of those
down.
people.
Please
I
don't
will
text
find
and
you.
drive.
10 and 2.
Yep.
Jed is the John Wick of people who do that kind of shit. You actually followed a guy, didn't you? Well, you didn't follow. You were behind him. Then you pulled up next to him down here, next to Price Cutter, and you were just like, I watched you text the entire way.
Oh, so I do that. I actually do that a lot. Like if
Yeah.
I see somebody texting and
Like
we're
scold
going in the
people?
same direction, like I don't yell at people. I scold them though. And it's actually really
You've
funny.
been a bad boy.
So-
You've been a very bad boy.
I'm
Jess,
not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Jess, my wife, was on the phone with me, and now if this is your first time ever listening to this podcast, then you haven't heard all the jokes about me. I'm bald. I have a beard. I have a lot of tattoos. Well, I don't know. In present company, I guess it's not really a lot of tattoos, but
Yeah, I thought I had a lot.
I have tattoos. And I have a look. So
I like that turtle polo shirt you're wearing.
yeah, like maybe not in work clothes, but like outside of work.
It's a look. I don't know if it's the look he's describing.
Yeah. But so I was actually on the phone with my wife and I was coming through Fairmont and I was behind this car and dude is just drifting over the center lane. He's drifting over onto the shoulder. Like he's doing 10 miles an hour into the speed limit, typical sign. So I'm like, all right, this guy's either drunk or he's on his phone. So I get a little closer to him and I'm looking and I see the phone in his hand. I'm like, all right, cool. This dude's texting. So we end up coming up the hill and we get to the stoplight and he's turning left. So I pull up next to him.
Wait, are you on a bike?
No, I'm in my
Oh,
truck.
okay.
And I'm on the phone with my wife. She's,
Oh, that's right, you
she's
said you were on the
listening
phone,
in the
okay.
truck. Yeah. So I just roll my window down and I just stare at him and I just wait. And he's just on his phone, texting, looking at Facebook. And finally he feels somebody looking at him and looks over and sees me and phone still in hand, rolls the window down. And I'm just like, hey man, you maybe want to put the phone down? And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you've been texting for the last 2 miles. And he's like, no, I haven't. I was like, dude, listen, I was right behind you. I've been watching you for the past 2 miles. And he just slowly put his phone into his cup holder and he's like, yes, sir. And dude, he rolls his window up and I rolled mine up and she's like,
Wait.
did he just fucking call you
I was
sir?
gonna say, how old is this guy?
He's younger than me, but not by much.
I was gonna say you're not that old.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not old enough to be sirred.
She thinks that maybe people think I'm a cop. Just like in plain clothes?
I mean,
What?
like from like the neck up, if you're just like in a car.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's too funny.
I drive
Yeah.
a white Explorer that totally looks like a cop car. You can just take it out through Fairmont one day
Yeah.
and like
Just
just drive around and watch for people that are texting.
yes.
Just scare the shit out of them.
Yes.
I used to just call the cops on people that were like swerving around if I noticed them, but I stopped doing that since my car is not legal right now because I don't want to get pulled over too.
I stopped doing it
So-
unless it's like a like big time danger because like they don't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. Unless they catch them, but it's more like whenever I'm not sure if they're texting because I sit low to the ground, I can't see, so it's like if I feel like they're texting or drunk, mainly, especially at night, because whenever I lived down around Nutter Fort, we had a lot of people coming from like Kelly's and stuff going
Yeah.
back through Nutter Fort, and people would just be all over the road. So I'd just call the cops on them. It's like, here's their license plate. They're swerving everywhere. They're obviously drunk. So
Yeah, I don't play those games.
yeah, I've had too many friends, in accidents or die from drunk driving,
Yeah.
either being the victim or the ones drinking. So it's like, don't do that shit. So
Yep. On
Anyway.
next week's episode, we're going to talk about abstinence
prime candidate for
and
that
why
one.
you should go to church.
Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Watch out for motorcycles.
This
Got
has
a
been our
mom on
TED
the show
Talk.
for one day.
This has been our TED Talk.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
So tell us more about yourself. Anything that obviously you own your own company.
I
gotta-
do. I own my own joint. What were you
I
gonna
got a quick fire question for you.
Sure.
If you had to pick a liquor to drink straight, what would it be?
say? Tequila.
Oh God, I love you already.
I'm not much of a drink. I'm not good at drinking anymore. I used to be, well, if you ask me, I was a great drinker. Patron was always my drink, and I was capable of drinking large quantities and not being an asshole. So I call that being a good drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a happy drunk.
See, I also love tequila, but I want it to be like as cheap as possible.
No, I can't do it. No.
Like I want whatever's below well.
That's
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of cheap liquors you can get away from. Tequila's not, or get away with, and tequila's not one of them. Like I was a bartender for a
cheap
while,
tequila.
and I just like the smell of cheap tequila is so overwhelming compared to like popping open a bottle of Patron. It's oh
See, when I was still on active duty and I would like go hard every weekend, well, I don't know, I still do a lot of weekends, but like literally every weekend, I invented, I don't know, that's probably not the right word for it, but I had this pregame that we would do every night that we would go out.
Like a ritual.
We called it the gauntlet. You had to run the gauntlet if you wanted to come out with us. And we'd get 2 cheap, shitty beers, something, Natty Light, PBR, whatever. And
Call
then,
PBR
okay,
a cheap, shitty
PBR is
beer.
not
PBR is
shitty. It's
great.
cheap. It's cheap. Black label,
Hams.
hams, something like that.
hams.
Something like that. And then you'd get them prepped for shotgun. You'd pour 2 shots of cheap, clear tequila. And you'd do a shot, shotgun a beer, do a shot, shotgun a beer. One after the other. And then
used to
you'd
be able to
be
do it. I'd die
ready
now.
to go out.
Yeah, like now I drink 1 glass of wine with dinner and I giggle and can't feel my face. Like
Wine is my favorite. Now, tequila, I cannot be around tequila and jet at the same time because bad things happen. Last time that happened, I ended up.
Oh, that was a night.
Which came
What
first?
was the last
Me
time that
yeeting
we
myself
drank?
out of the hot tub backwards and breaking my foot, or almost breaking my foot? Did that come before the naked Facebook Live video of me?
see, that sounds more like
That's what
I would do
Yeah.
on tequila.
I don't remember drinking tequila because I was already hammered before he even got to the party. Every year for it was what 8 or 9 years in a row, we rented a cabin at Canaan Valley. It's called Cockfest. It was just a party,
Hey,
and
speaking of going to church, the pastor's here.
yeah. But we would go up there, party for 4 or 5 days, come home. Well, the first night was it the first year that you went?
It was the first year that I went and the
Yeah.
first night that I was there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
before he even got there, I was already gone.
Yeah.
Like gone. And
For sure.
apparently he busted up in tequila, and I thought it'd be a good idea to live stream everything on Facebook naked.
Like naked.
Naked.
I watched the whole stream.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Seriously? Yes. Welcome, Josiah. He's our other new host.
Hey.
You heard him last week with the thunder.
Oh, yeah. There was some thunder on the way here, and I thought, oh, it's poetic.
Yeah, it's true. but yeah, Jed and I, tequila, not no. Just drink whiskey together.
I can still drink a little bit. Like I don't like the way it feels to be drunk anymore.
I don't like how it feels the day
I
after.
love the way it
That's
feels
what
to
I'm
be
saying.
drunk.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe not that I don't like the way it feels to be drunk, but I just don't recover as well as I used to.
Yeah.
And my alcohol tolerance is diminished. Sadly, I have the alcohol tolerance of a toddler. Like it's embarrassing, and so I'm never out anymore. Like I'm a hermit, so I'm not just like
I don't
popping
like to
open
go
bottles of
out and
Patron at my
drink.
house.
I don't like going out and drinking anymore.
I'm not
No,
going
that's
out.
where bad things happen.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather just drink at the house and like watch YouTube videos and like old vines.
What's your go-to YouTube? Like, if you get down
Like
a rabbit,
genre?
yeah, like you get down a rabbit hole of YouTube videos. Is it like
God,
puppy
it gets
videos?
crazy with him.
Yeah,
Puppy
it usually
videos.
gets real weird.
Yeah.
Who?
Like
'Cause
the
I
deep,
can-
dark corners of YouTube that you
Yeah,
just don't
like,
want to be in.
I'll
Bad
start
thing.
out with something lighthearted like Fail Army videos and I don't know, Vine compilations and maybe from there it'll graduate to like music videos and maybe like race highlights or something like that. But then inevitably it ends up like I don't even know. Like I can't even really think of a good
Say,
example.
I don't know what
It
that
just-
means. Like dark corners of YouTube.
It just
like-
gets real.
can get weird.
Real
Oh, I know
weird.
it can, but
See,
it can
I
get
do-
weird in a million different ways. So I need to know what
I
his
do
weird YouTube
music
is.
videos. Why I will do. The weirdest thing I probably do is ASMR. I'll put that on like while I'm trying to fall asleep.
ASMR?
Yeah, ASMR. You do not know? Oh,
No.
my goodness. Do you know what ASMR is?
Kind of. Yeah.
It's where like people put on like really relaxing voices and they talk about things and they just like they're just really calming. And I'll put on an ASMR video and right to sleep. Like, yeah.
that sounded something
didn't know
like
that was a
something,
thing.
No, it's not. It's well, some of them can get really weird. Like I'm like, oh, they're like click on something, but they get weird. I'm just like, I don't want you to be weird. I'm just trying to fall asleep here.
I didn't ask for this.
I don't know. It depends on if there's like people with me or if it's just me. If it's just me and I can't sleep and I'm just like drunk and I'm tired of playing video games and I'm just watching YouTube.
I watch Fortnite on YouTube. I watch that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'll get
He's
on.
always watching
I'll
it.
start watching like I try to find documentaries, like
Yeah.
weird documentaries. Like I start getting into like the serial killer documentaries and like the unsolved murder.
Did you
I
watch
love that
Chernobyl
shit.
yet?
No,
Chernobyl
I
is
want to
worth
start
the
that.
watch.
So I was gonna start it tonight, but season 2, Big Little Lies dropped, and I had to watch that. So I'm gonna start Chernobyl tonight. Probably.
I would say Chernobyl is excellent, but you will not feel good about it. Like,
I don't
after you
think
watch
you're
it,
supposed to feel
It's like
good
really compelling,
about
but
a
it's
nuclear
like
meltdown
after
that
you're
claimed the
done.
lives of hundreds of
There's
people.
like I don't know
Feel-good movie of
what
the
it
year.
is about Chernobyl where if you watch a scary like Jason movie and he's hacking people up, you're like, yeah, I could probably get away from him. There's no getting away from literally being cooked from like
Oh, yeah.
from a nuclear reactor. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's like you can't tough that out. You're just it gets really
No,
gross.
You're just
Is
done.
that how you feel when you watch horror movies? You think you could get away from them?
No, I mean, if you watch someone getting like hacked and slashed, you're probably like, "Oh, that sucks." But like, at least you can try
and there's
to fight.
always
you
there's
can try
always
to
those
fight
like
back.
horror movie tropes, right? Where
Yeah.
you're like,
Don't
okay,
go upstairs.
that's a stupid decision.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But in Chernobyl, it's all these people trying to save each other, running in to like pick up super radioactive material, and they have no idea that it's just like, it's bad. It turns them into Jello. It's gross. I can't. All right, new topic.
Let's do something.
Let's do it.
If obviously with everybody knows Jed
Hey,
and
Jed.
myself, we've got Josiah and Ashley. So anybody listening, if you want to go to our Facebook page and on this episode on our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/wastedlocaltalent, which one of us would survive in a horror movie?
I can tell you it's not me. I wouldn't try.
I don't get off the couch, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm not. Once again, I like to sit.
Yeah,
I think it would be down to either me or Jed.
I think so too. Jed's got the most weapons.
I feel
So-
like Jed.
I
But
think it
Jed's
would
also the
depend
most
on
like, you know,
if it's
he's
my
like,
house.
what's that? What's that? He's like, you know, he'd be like,
Jed would be the most likely person to talk the serial killer into like sitting down and having a nice dinner.
That's true.
He'd be like,
Come
"Why?
see my dogs.
He's like, why-
I've got 5 of them.
Why are you the way that you are? I'm really interested. I've seen every serial killer documentary.
I've seen your
yeah.
YouTube videos.
Yeah. Like, I'm a fan. I subscribe. So why are you here? But yeah, Jed would reason with the killer. I feel like I would be more likely to throw you in front of the killer and
That's fair. I would hope that
escape.
somebody would.
Yeah.
I would play dead.
Just play
That's
dead.
my tactic with like, yeah. If I'm ever in danger, it's just that's going to be my thing.
Play
I'm just
dead.
going to lay down and
Daniel,
pretend
you
I'm
should
dead.
probably play dead.
I
You might
already
actually
smell
think you
that
already.
way.
Yeah.
It's just
It smells like
not
Pretty
much of a
seeping
jump.
out of me.
it smells like beef and cheese in here. When I walked in, I was
Yeah, I think Michael's cooking something.
Michael.
I was at a barn today, so I'm not going to say I don't smell bad.
I haven't been in very many barns that smell like beef and cheese, though.
No, I don't think that's
neither.
what this
I mean, that's
no, I
what
don't think the
cows
beef and
are. It's a
cheese
different
smell
kind
is
of
me.
beef,
Yeah.
and
it
milk
just-
turns into cheese. So it's just preemptive.
it's just really young beef and cheese.
yeah, ripe.
Yeah, very ripe beef
Ripe.
and cheese. Or unripe?
I don't know. I don't know how you describe.
I don't know
that.
how you apply this to living things.
This is deep.
What were we talking about originally?
Yeah, well, I interrupted something.
The horror thing. Who would survive?
Yeah, who would survive?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested now. Comment if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Please.
It would be me.
We should do
What do
more
you
stuff
think?
like that.
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think I would survive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards you.
I feel like we would
Sorry.
work together and both survive.
I don't know. If we were all flying solo and had to survive a
I
killer.
would
attacking-
Shane from Walking Dead you right
It's
in
like,
the
I
leg. If it comes down to it, you'll be Otis.
Well, it's like, I mean, if you really like look at like the 4 of us, have you guys played Left 4 Dead?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You know, you're Lewis.
I haven't played that much left. for
Okay.
Dead.
Well, there's 4 characters. There's 3 guys and 1 female. It's like we're like Left 4 Dead. And I'm obviously Bill because I'm like the
old guy.
The old guy.
Back in
That
my
just popped
day.
into my head. I thought it was kind of funny. So
Bill.
that's why we're talking about that. Bill. Who's got Lewis? Who's like the? Was it Lewis and then
I don't remember any of their names. I
Lewis,
remember
Bill,
Boomer.
and
I remember
Oh, Boomer.
Smoker.
Yeah.
What was the witch?
the witch?
Yeah.
The Berserker.
What was,
Was
the
it the
screamer?
tank?
Was there a
The
screamer?
tank. Which one had the Berserker?
It wasn't in either of them.
Oh,
That was
okay.
in the second one, I think.
It wasn't.
There was.
It was like the tank that like rushed you.
I
Or
fought a
not the
Berserker
tank,
sometime in my
it
video
was,
game life, and I don't know when it
Charger.
was. A Charger.
The Charger.
There was one in the
San
second one
Diego
though that would like jump really
Superchargers.
far and
The Hunter.
like run really fast. Is that what it was? The hunter?
The Hunter was one that would like pounce you.
Yeah. That's the one I was thinking of.
Anyway,
That's your dating tactic.
Tangents.
that's why I don't date.
Pounce.
That's why I'm still single. Anyway, get off that topic too.
Everybody else has.
So
Cool. So tell us about yourself, Josiah.
well, the reason I'm late, I also record another podcast called the Decent Christian Talk Podcast, and I agreed to do that today because I didn't know you were going to interview me. I thought it was all about her today, Ashley.
Yeah,
Right, Ashley.
Ashley.
Okay, I knew that, but
Have you guys met yet?
we did briefly,
right, yeah,
but I didn't
very
ever
briefly.
get her name until just now. But yeah, I agreed to do that, and then you're like, "Hey, we're going to interview you too." I'm like, well, there's really not much to talk about. She's the important one, but here I am. I met you years ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I know. I used to be homeschooled way back in the day, and I would come in to Heritage Christian School and take my standardized tests. That's where I met Michael. If you ask Michael, we met in the bathroom.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that
If
doesn't
you-
surprise me at
If
all.
you ask me, we met in gym class, and he was singing.
Probably Kesha.
What kind of
No.
gym class were you in that you're singing?
Michael was singing. He was singing Reliant K, and it was the Sadie Hawkins dance, and I started singing it with him, and we've been friends ever since. And I would go over to his house, and we would, well, that's your house as well. We would play video games, And then you and Nathan would just pick on him and be like, why is your friend so much cooler than you, Michael? And at one point,
We were kind of assholes to Michael growing
you
up.
drop kicked him off the
Growing up?
bed into the side of the wall. And
Did I really?
What?
It was either you or Nathan. I forget what we were doing.
Incredible.
But you like,
I did whale him in the face with a baseball bat when we were younger.
Oh
Yep.
my god.
yeah,
Got a nice big scar on his chin to prove it.
they would just be like, come with us, Josiah. You're cool. And they would just like literally throw Michael down the stairs. It's like,
This explains so much about the person that he is today.
Yeah. We were mean to him. Kind of feel bad.
yeah.
Everybody's still mean to
But
him.
now he's bigger than both of us. So it's like, he kind of like, grew. And now I wouldn't.
But yeah, that's the long backstory. We worked together at the Panera Bread for
that's right, we
a
did.
while.
The Panera Bread.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people. I met Josh there. That's where I met Josh Hall.
Yeah.
It's Panera Bread.
Wait, you worked at Panera Bread? Mm-hmm. Okay.
One time at Panera, Josh was like, hey man, can you crack my back?
Oh God, I've heard this story.
And
so many
I was
times.
like, yes, that's a great idea. So, all right, I went to like go push on his back. He laid on the floor. We put a whole bunch of aprons down and he laid on his face and I was going to crack his back like a normal person would. And then for whatever reason, I was like, I'm just going to sit down as hard as I can right on his back. And I did that. I don't know why. I didn't know if he needed the extra crack because he's a pretty stout guy. So
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm going to sit out as hard as I can. And he would have murdered me that day if he could breathe at all
Yeah.
for the next half hour.
Did you like drop from like a standing position?
I was like, I had my hands on his back, and then I was like, I'm
Like
just gonna-
straddling him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, I'm going to sit down as hard as I can, and boom, that's what I did. I mean, I was in high school. I thought it would be funny. It was, but he still hates me to this day because of it.
Is
Yeah.
that the reason he's got back problems?
he's told me no.
he had back
definitely
problems
not.
before that. He
That's why
told
he's
me,
cracking his back.
yeah, he told me I actually fixed it for a good while, and then it just deteriorated from there. And then big fan of the podcast, Alex Lilly. I met him there. No, I met him in high school, but we worked together. Did you work with Alex?
Did he work at that Panera too?
Yeah, he worked at the Panera. He was the one that we were like, I forget what we did, but he was chasing me to murder me. And I slipped and cut my hand, and 9 stitches later,
I don't know if I did work with him
Seeing
there,
a trend here.
then
people come at me.
So he was chasing you to murder you and you slipped and fell.
Yes.
Then I definitely think Jed would survive.
All right.
My vote has been cast.
It's probably true.
outed yourself.
My vote is on
It's
Jed.
Well, like the little things that go on the side of the walls, like to hold the
You're
walls.
gonna
together.
have to be more
There's lots of
specific
things
than that.
I mean, like trim. Trim?
Oh,
Is that-
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Well,
Trim.
there's metal trim in Panera, and it's sharp. So I like grabbed it to hold myself up when I was sliding around the side of the wall. Didn't work out like you would think it would. Actually, it worked exactly how you think it would. It sliced my hand open. And here we are, wasting our talent. If I have any. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out,
We'll
I
find
guess,
out.
in the episodes to come.
Yeah. I'll do my best.
I wish you would have been here for the Real Shoot Wrestling.
I was going to be. That's the first time he actually contacted me, but
Yeah.
I was away doing other things. And so, yeah, me and Tim and I always get into arguments because everything about wrestling, like I'm right about and he's completely wrong about. But if you ask Tim, it's
I
the
can
other
see
way.
where that would make him mad.
Yeah, it's the other way around. I don't know anything about wrestling. But if you go to a third, just random wrestling fan, he's going to have the exact same opinion and think Tim and I are both complete idiots. So that's one of the best things about wrestling is you're always the smartest person in the room, and you have to convince everybody else that your favorite wrestler is the best wrestler, and your favorite move is the best move. And the 1984 match from SummerSlam wasn't around then. WrestleMania or what? Yeah, people are listening. Tim's gonna call me out on that one. Shoot. Sorry, Tim. I'm not as old as you, but anyway, yeah, that's one of the best things about wrestling, and that's actually why Gabe, my brother, started the Decent Christian Talk podcast. Is because wrestling podcasts are a big deal. Like all kinds of people listen to wrestling podcasts, and Stone Cold Steve Austin has one, and there's a number of other ones. And
his is pretty cool.
yeah. So we listen to a bunch of Christian music, and Gabe is like, there's nothing out there in Christian music. There is a little bit now, but this was 3 or 4 years ago when Gabe came up with this idea. And he said, we should do something like what Stone Cold does and like what Chris Jericho does and all this stuff, but bring it into Christian music. And it's kind of similar to what you guys do here, except you guys get like an hour. We normally get like 8 minutes of a band, like backstage, like on a tour bus. Like we don't get much time, but we make the best of it with what we can. And Brendan is actually, I believe, he's on the Jesus Freak cruise right now. So I
heard about that.
yeah, that's a big deal in Christian music. If you don't know
what?
The Jesus Freak cruise, it's a
DC
DC Talk thing. Yeah, one of the biggest Christian bands of the '90s. They're like putting on a reunion show, and it's on a cruise. And one of the friends that's on our podcast, he is on that cruise right now, just hanging out with. If you don't know who they are, it's fine because nobody knows who they are, unless you're a fan of Christian music and you're like, oh my gosh, he's on the cruise. He has a picture with them. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's what I do with my spare time. Also, Gurus of Gaming, which I am not. I know nothing about video games, but I guess I'm entertaining enough.
You're the control.
I'm like the alt delete. I try to cause as much chaos on that podcast as possible, and
You do a
I
very good
don't
job.
imagine it's hard.
No.
it's not because I try to tell as many jokes at other people's expense as I can and see if they pick up on it or not.
I've heard some of those jokes get a little bit
Spicy.
too.
I feel bad because they just come out and
Yep.
they just man,
I'm in control.
Well, I got to bring over the same sense of humor that Chris left off here with. Because, I mean, we're probably the same amount of funny. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm way funnier than Chris. Just kidding. I've never met that guy. But
He's obviously way more vulgar than you are, though.
yes, I completely agree.
Yeah. I don't think. Listen, I got to tell you, I spent 5 years in the Navy. 3 of those years I was with the Marines. And Chris has a way with vulgarity like few other people I've ever met.
It's a talent.
Oh,
yeah, like it's incredible.
Yeah. It's all genital based, though.
It is.
It's
He
just all
definitely
genital
has his
based, like,
shtick, and it's a shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
Oh, that means 2 things.
Yes. Yeah.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before Josiah got here, we were getting ready to talk about your business.
Yeah.
I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, actually, I think he interrupted by asking me about
I
tequila.
Yeah,
did
yeah.
interrupt first,
Yep.
yeah, and then we started talking about tequila,
Yeah.
and then that led
That's cool. I like
to
that
just
topic too.
all sorts of other things. So
Nice
Oh,
and
okay.
nostalgic for me. It's not like a current thing.
I don't know
yeah.
anything about that.
I own a business called Black Sheep Jewelry, and I do it out of my house. It's just a one-woman show. I have a studio in my garage, and I make copper electroformed jewelry with natural subjects like crystals and botanicals and stuff like that. Bones. I have a piece of human vertebrae right now that I'm about to work with.
That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
it's mine. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not.
Like it's your vertebrae?
yeah.
oh, okay.
I guess I phrased that poorly.
Whoa.
The jewelry will be mine.
Okay, I got you.
Wouldn't that be badass though? If I was
That
like,
would
hey,
actually be really
I'm gonna make
badass.
this necklace. I'm gonna need you to remove a piece of my vertebrae.
Yeah.
It would be a really cool story.
Or
to
if you
go.
were like
would
in
be
a
cool.
car accident or something, and they had to like take off one of your fingers.
I mean, I'd probably keep it.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Yeah.
So I have a contingency plan for if I were to ever have a traumatic amputation of a phalange.
I love that word.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it in my house, and I'm gonna do the shot thing.
Where you have
Shot.
to take a shot with it in the shot glass.
Yep.
After you do that, is it just going to be a chew toy for one of the dogs?
No, you keep it. You keep it, and like
How many times can you do that before it starts deteriorating? Like, what do you?
you,
I mean,
you
you'd have to
keep it in alcohol.
You keep wait what?
Preserves in the
confused.
alcohol.
I'm confused. by what?
But You would have, okay, so my husband collects wet specimens of like animals and stuff. You can't just keep it in alcohol or it'll get all cloudy.
Yeah, no, you have to dry it out.
Yeah, you have to keep it. There's
Yeah.
like something else you're supposed to mix with it.
Have you not seen the one that they do in it's like Scotland or Ireland or something? They've been doing it for like 200 years with the same. It's a
Oh,
toe.
the toe, yes.
Yeah. So I know that you
Yeah.
have to dry it like completely out,
Well, that would make me feel better.
and then
No, he's not a
once
wet
it's
toe.
basically been like mummified,
Yeah.
then you preserve
I
it
do
in
know what
alcohol.
you're talking about now.
You could
Yeah.
come out with your own kombucha tea flavor, and just
Toe.
like, yeah,
just toe,
Phalange.
phalange.
Phalange kombucha.
I kind of want to make my own kombucha just to see how disgusting it is.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult. Like it's not. You can't get the same result every time unless
Yeah.
you're like really, really, really good at it.
Also, I just think it's awesome that they call it the mother.
the mother.
Yeah. So like you have a culture, you have a bacteria culture.
It looks like a giant booger.
It's
Yeah.
like a placenta.
And
I've
you-
seen
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
yeah, and you have to grow it, and then like once you have it, it just lives on its own, and you use it to like make the kombucha, and they call it the mother.
It's
Oh.
it's a cool process.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's gross looking
weird.
though. Like it's just a big ball of slime. It's just
Yeah.
bacteria.
I definitely think I would much rather just make like beer or wine
Yeah,
and just buy the kombucha already nice in a bottle. Not
yeah. We had like
snotty.
one good batch of kombucha when we did it, and it was awesome. Like we kept it in jar. Like
Is
sealed
it
in mason
automatically
jars.
bubbly?
The fermentation creates the
Fizziness?
yeah
Really?
yeah
Huh. That's cool.
Carbonation.
yeah carbonate.
Have you ever had kombucha?
No, I have not.
You should look into it
It's
because
good.
It's delicious.
It provides things that a man of your age probably needs.
It's true though.
2. I'll have to look into that if I could see to look into it.
Yeah.
Stoggle
We
me
got
up.
off on a tangent real quick. We're talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah, that took no time at all.
bones to toes being
To-
We
Toe
went from
shots.
a business to
You
bones
took my beautiful
to
jewelry and made it so
phalanges
gross.
to kombucha.
I thought we were going to get back to her bone jewelry means that she would probably be the one to survive the horror movie because she would be the horror.
She's the killer.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe that's it.
the whole time.
I like that. I like that twist.
She would have tricked. She would be playing dead.
You know,
like,
I
in
honestly
that-
never thought to ask where the vertebrae came from until you just said that.
Exactly.
Where did the vertebrae come from?
I'm not legally allowed to tell you.
That's fair.
No, I was Retrotique in downtown Morgantown.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, yeah, I do.
Jillian that owns Retrotique is a friend of mine, and she was given from WVU Medicine. She was donated a bunch of human bones and like old.
Really?
Yeah, and it was so cool. Like I'm talking like tons. She's got like a whole hand and like no skulls. That was gonna be like I was gonna like waste all of my money on a human skull if she had it. But she's just got like a box of human bones.
How much money for a human skull?
Okay, well, it gets real sketchy if you're trying to look up human skulls on the internet. Like, if it's cheap, don't buy it. Like,
That's fair.
There's really only two things you can do with a human skull, and that's decorate something creepy or make cereal. Like,
Just hold it upside down
Yeah.
and eat cereal.
oh, okay, that's not where I took that.
makes
I definitely took it the way that you took
Okay,
it.
I
Yeah.
thought you meant like
Eat the
eat
skull.
the skull.
oh no, gosh!
I was like,
I was gonna
damn, I
say,
was just gonna sit it on a
listen,
shelf.
you could soak that in milk all night and it's not going to get soggy. I'm telling you right now.
It's actually going to get stronger because
calcium.
You're going to wake up in the morning and have a skeleton.
No, there's I've got cat bones and a rat skull and like a muskrat skull and human vertebrae. Like I've got like a whole collection of bones in my garage. It's just and I've got like a big box. Tom that did some of your tattoos.
Yeah.
He's way worse than I am. Some of my bones.
Oh, I
came
fully
from him.
believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, "Hey, do you would want these bones? I've just got like a bunch of boxes of bones I just found in my basement." I'm like, "How do you not know you have that? Like, how are you
fucking
not
love that
aware
guy.
that you have boxes of bones in your basement?" But he gave me a deer vertebrae that I made a cool necklace with. Like, I put some like quartz crystals on top of it and like turned the whole thing into copper.
So I don't mean to keep taking your awesome business and telling really shitty stories, but I'm about to
Is it a
tell
Tom
another one.
story?
No, it's a animal jewelry story.
Okay.
So when I was younger, we would go to this church camp up in Pennsylvania. And there were these two guys. It was their first year coming there. And these dudes were like super hardcore rednecks. Like if they were 24 instead of 14, they'd be driving like jacked up trucks
Yeah.
and, you know, blaring Luke Bryan. And
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
yeah. So
So like Doddridge County.
yes,
Okay.
very Doddridge County.
Okay.
Yeah. And
An
so
adjective.
the taller of the two had this necklace with this like animal bone on it. And all throughout the week, people would be like, "Oh, what is that? What is that?" And then he'd like show it to them, and he'd tell them that it's a possum bone. Well, the entire week, nobody asked what it was, like what bone it was. People had been touching this thing, and towards the end of the week, it was like
I know where you're
the
going with
last
this.
day or second to last day. Somebody, it might have even been me. I honestly don't remember, but somebody was like, "What bone is it?" And he's like, "It's the pecker bone."
Yeah.
Yes, a possum's penis bone.
Yeah.
This dude put it on a necklace and was wearing it.
Yeah.
At least he's proud.
Yeah, he was very proud.
I don't know where to segue from that. So, have you always liked jewelry?
I have never made jewelry with anything's penis bone. I can't say that I
Lead
won't.
off with that.
I can't say
How
that.
much would it cost for you to do that?
Are you supplying it?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, if I'd have to be on the lookout for a penis bone. So, I mean, that's some time.
We'll have to call that guy.
Yeah, I need to get his number.
He was the big one, right?
Yeah, he was the tall
The
one.
biggin.
The biggin of the two. Yeah.
Okay, so I've not always been a big jewelry wearer until I started making jewelry. But my mom's dad actually also made jewelry with crystals and gemstones and stuff like that. And I use some of his tools now, which is cool because I didn't really know him. But I use some of you missed the penis bone story.
Oh, I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Yes, he
But,
likes to talk about it.
We're trying to segue right now.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I've not always been a big jewelry wearer. I needed something that, it's actually funny how it started. I started by, it was cross stitching. I needed something to do that was like just mine, had nothing to do with my kids, so it's just mine.
What is
And
cross-stitching?
Cross stitching is like, it's needlepoint, sewing,
Okay.
sewing little
there we go.
X's into
Yeah.
pictures.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
okay.
you see like the old lady like alphabet ones hanging up in their house,
Yeah.
with flowers and stuff. Okay, I do that and I use dirty words.
Oh, I love it.
The first one I ever made was one that said, "Please don't do coke in the bathroom," and I had
Who has that one? I've seen that.
The guy. So there's a guy that I get tattooed by up in Philly.
who?
Hold on. I will get you his name because I
I've-
can't remember.
I've
He
seen
might
that.
have bought it from me.
He has a picture in his bathroom that says it's a stitching thing. It says "Don't do coke in the bathroom," and he was
he
telling
might
me
have bought it
that he
from
was
me.
thinking about getting a mirror with that on it and then putting it
I
on the
had
back of
somebody
the
say that to me.
toilet.
I sell them at the Tattoo Expo every year.
That's
He tattoos.
Yeah.
It might be him. Hold on. Let me get his name. Go
If I
go
saw,
ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead,
if I
then.
saw
Yeah,
a
yeah.
picture, I'd probably be able to tell you if he bought it from me. So, and then it like, somebody asked me if I would make it, if I could put it on a bracelet, like these sayings that I do and stuff. And they're just like vulgar stuff. Like it looks like from a distance, it looks like something you see in your grandma's house. But then when you get up close and read it, it's like all vulgarities. And so I just like hand stamped it like hammer and like metal stamps on a aluminum bracelet. And it went from that, it just kind of like slowly evolved into what it is now. And then I saw the copper jewelry like I make, and I saw somebody maybe on like Pinterest or YouTube or something, and I was like, I'm gonna teach myself how to do that. And I just like dumped every bit of money I had into all the equipment to do it. And I tried a few other types of jewelry in between, but I was good at it like right off the bat, and I like that. I don't like having to work
Yeah,
too
having to
hard
work
to yeah. And I mean, I've definitely evolved since it started, but
How did you go from copper to, hey, let's make a bone jewel? Like,
I don't know.
I don't.
Just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like stuff like that. So I traded Jillian the deer vertebrae with the crystals on it that I turned in. Like, 'cause I covered the whole thing in copper. And I traded her that for the human vertebrae that I'm going to make myself a necklace with.
That was confirmed, or did she just like, this is a human vertebrae?
Oh,
You
it's
know for a
definitely.
fact.
Like,
Yeah, did you
can
taste it
see-
or?
I licked it to make
This person
sure.
was from Alabama.
They're like from the 70s. Like, it's cool. Like, she's got a bunch of old ones. She's got like a hand that like all the little tiny bones in the hand are all strung together. And she's just going to like string them up to a necklace and wear the whole hand on her chest. Yeah. Jillian's fun.
Jed, have you ever met her?
I don't think so.
Pink hair.
Whenever we did the, I forget what it was called. Whenever Chris and I did the thing up in Morgantown, that little panel.
Oh, yeah.
Small
She told me
business,
she met you
yeah.
guys on that.
Yeah, that's where I officially met her. I've met her before.
I
but
sent
it's where
her the
first-
application to do this because I want her to come in here.
Yeah, I don't think she's applied yet. Honestly.
No. It was just like last week that I
Yeah.
did that.
So his name is Alex Pereira. And that's the best picture that he has on his Facebook.
I don't recognize him, but I
No?
mean, if he comes to the tattoo expo, he probably got it from
Yeah.
me.
He looks like he accidentally took that picture of himself.
That's fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
might as well post it.
I was trying to see if there were better pictures, but no.
You should be mad. He's in the car.
That's fair.
You should comment on it right
Yeah,
now.
we're not friends anymore. I
Comment,
tried to
"Hey."
add him to see if maybe more pictures
You
would
weren't
show.
friends
Yeah.
to begin with. You had to look him up to figure out what his name was.
Listen, I'm not good with names or remembering things.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not either. So it's fair.
I had to make a calendar appointment just so I'd remember that this was tonight.
I
Yeah.
have a whole big planner. You saw it last
Yeah,
time I was in here
yeah.
in my bag because I won't remember anything. Like,
Dude, that was a game changer for me as an adult. I
Planners.
started I don't have a planner, but I started using Google Calendar. And what I did was I took all of the due dates for all of my bills and I put them on my calendar
so you get a reminder.
with the amount that's due. And then I like put all my paydays ahead of time for the whole year. That way I can track like what bills need paid out of what
That's
paychecks.
smart.
So then every payday I just sit down and I look at my calendar and I'm like, all right, cool. Here's what needs paid. I do it all on the day that I get paid. I'm just done.
I'm not that organized. Like, thank God my husband's good with money because I just think I deserve like to be spoiled all the time. I'm like, yeah, I sold a piece of jewelry a month ago. I should get a coffee every day this week from Starbucks. Like,
Treat yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
Treat
totally
yourself.
live by the treat yourself like mentality. And my husband's like, we have coffee at home. I'm like, but they made it for me.
Yeah.
And it was $8.
They put my name on it.
Yeah, it had my name.
Wrong.
Have you had their
It was all
coffee?
foamy and stuff. Like,
I don't do that. Mainly because I don't have a job. But I've never been the type of person that just buys myself stuff just to do it. Honestly.
I justify buying really stupid things. Like, I alternate like 3 outfits. So I have like no clothes at all. Like, I don't buy myself like a ton of material things. But I can totally justify going out to eat whenever.
Oh, absolutely.
want.
Yeah.
Like you don't
I
ever
will
need a
spend
reason
so much money on going
to
out
go drop
eat.
$100 on sushi.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm the worst
Never
about
need a
like,
reason.
oh, don't worry, I'll get the check. Like,
Oh, you're that person.
yeah.
You want to
'cause-
go out
You-
after this?
What are you doing
You
later?
hungry?
No, I never spend money on myself, but like, I'll show up with a box of donuts and be like, hey guys, here
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
yeah, I
And-
do that.
go. I'm like, see, that was nice of me. And when I get home, I'm like, eating my ramen.
Are you just trying to make up for like how mean you are generally?
I don't think I'm that mean.
You're trying to buy your friends.
I just think, no, I'm just mean to you.
You're just an easy target.
That's fair.
Jed.
To be fair, the 13 Palm Trees friend circle, their love language is just to see how much you can offend somebody. Like when you
Oh,
walk in the
yeah.
door.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got
Like,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's their love language. Hey, you're bald. Hey, you're old. Hey,
See,
you
I'm
might
not-
be a killer.
I was going to say I haven't gotten any hits yet, but no, I'm a murderer.
Yeah.
I actually,
are the
I remember, I don't remember if it was you or Jess or Josh or who it was, but when Michael's first child was born, I remember like I had a chance to tell a very insensitive joke And I was like, is she off limits? can we joke about kids? This is like a new territory for me.
Well, I would say yes. And
But you still did, though. You
I
sent
definitely did,
You sent
yeah.
the picture because, like, there's her name is Sloan, and there's a toilet brand named Sloan, that, like, industrial toilet.
And I was like, she takes after her father.
Yeah, I sent him a picture. So yeah, it's definitely not off limits anymore.
I know he sent me. He was like, "Hey, we're pregnant," and I said, "From Scrubs." I was like, "I'm just amazed at the miracle of one woman impregnating another woman." Congratulations, man!
Scrubs, I
Yeah.
love Scrubs. But I remember whenever I found out, him and Brittany asked me and my mom and my dad to go to Mia Margaritas, and we were sitting there, and Brittany's like, "I got something to show you guys." So they handed my parents what was supposed to be a card with the ultrasound picture in it. Well, it was just a card with nothing in it. And I was like, "Oh, did you finally graduate? Like, that's awesome." I was like, "It's a good thing, I thought you guys were having a kid." When she pulled the ultrasound picture out. Yeah, that was funny.
Well, when he told me they were getting married,
Whenever I found out.
when he told me they were getting married, I didn't mean to, completely by accident. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, man. But what about this thing?" Like I just like moved on to the next
Move
thing.
on to the next thing.
And he like he didn't text me back for a little bit, and he texted me back. He's like, "Seriously, that's your reaction? Like I'm like getting married?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I mean that." Oh wow! He was like, "You're a jerk." And like, it's like I knew you were getting married. He's like, "Yeah, but I actually asked her," and I said, "But I knew." And so I felt bad because he wanted it to be like
We've
this cool
known
moment
for a month.
and
Right.
I completely squashed it. And
Oh, so you knew he was going to propose. You just didn't know he already had.
I
think
I
we
forget
all
exactly
We
what
all
happened.
knew it was
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah, it was like one of those
Yeah.
things. Like, it's
been coming for years,
I thought
and
you
then
did
you
that a
found
while
out.
ago.
Yeah.
But I felt bad because he was like, "This is like a big moment in my life," and I was like,
We're not the most empathetic
Yeah.
group of people, though.
I
He'd be like,
also,
"Oh, I'm having a
like-
kid." I'm like, "Cool. You want to get Arby's?" Like,
I don't know. Also, none of us take that kind of stuff like very seriously.
No, yeah.
Like when Jess and I decided that we were going to get married, we were driving to a crawfish broil, and I was joking to her about like, yeah, we could just get married, and then the military will pay me more money. And she's like, yeah, like you'd get married. And I was like, no, I'd get married. And then I was like, fuck it, let's get married.
"That's how my mom and dad like." My
And
mom
then-
was like, "Do you think we'll
Yeah.
ever get
That's what
married?"
every girl wants to hear. Sure, why not?
Yeah, she was kind of mad about that. She was like, well, you have to propose. Like, that doesn't count. And I was like, why doesn't that count?
It doesn't
Like,
count
we just agreed to
because-
get married. Like, that's...
No, because every girl waits. If you think your wife did not dream of that moment her whole life leading up to when you said fuck it, you're wrong.
I don't know. I'd like to think that nobody dreams of getting married to me.
I have not, at least once. So Daniel, what's your ideal proposal?
God,
You've had a lot of practice.
I have done the proposing, and I've been proposed to.
Really?
Yes. Neither of those worked out, obviously.
0 for 2.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not much of a finisher.
I haven't dreamed about it. I didn't play with my Barbie dolls as a little girl and, plan it out or anything.
You need to join the military and then get more money.
There you go.
make more money. No, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, at this
sorry,
point,
yeah.
I don't even
I was gonna
care.
say, is your dream proposal at this point like not?
Yeah, at this point, no.
Yeah.
I'm pretty content with being by myself, honestly. After the last 2 relationships that I've had, I'm perfectly
You know
fine.
what? That's very admirable. To be content being alone. It's so much better than only being happy when you're with somebody.
Yeah.
Like seeing people.
I mean,
that are
I'm not happy alone. I'm not happy ever.
Like,
To be fair-
I kind of want to die, but
During your first 2 relationships, you didn't have Fortnite to fall back on,
You're right. You are correct.
and now you have tons of things to waste your time and money on besides girls.
I don't waste my money on Fortnite though. It's free.
It's free.
It's beautiful. That's why I play it, because I can't afford any other games until Xbox Gold comes out. I actually just downloaded the new PGA Tour game though, because it's free. I like golf games.
Getting desperate.
I do. Oh, it goes back,
It's the only
PGA
hole he's
Tour
ever
for-
going to get into. Am I right? High five me.
That was a good one. Gotta get practice somehow, Jed. Come on. Get him up.
Get his 2-iron out.
I practice the follow through.
It's definitely like a pitching wedge. It's definitely smaller than
A putter.
A putter. Yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, enough about me and my sex life. Or lack
Back to
thereof.
pecker necklaces.
Yeah, back to necklaces.
Oh yeah. I
We
know,
don't
I
have
think
to
I
talk
covered
about
it,
necklaces.
Yeah.
Talk about
Pizza or burger?
Ooh, pizza.
Oh, really?
Burger.
I mean, to be fair, I just like food. Like you could put a pizza and a burger in front of me, and I'd probably just eat.
She's
a
like,
little
what if you put pizza on a burger?
It's like a pizza
A
burger.
pizza burger.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think
Or a
we've done
cheeseburger
that.
pizza.
Yeah, burger
Listen,
pizza.
when Papa John's had that goddamn cheeseburger
Oh
pizza,
my
listen.
god, it was like a Big Mac pizza.
It was so good. I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be disgusting because we got it here one night
was
when we were playing
amazing.
D&D, and it was like pickles and all that stuff. I'm like, that's going to be gross. Then I took a bite of it, and I'm like, this is heaven.
It was amazing.
It's so good.
See, I gotta go cheeseburger because most pizza has tomato sauce on it, and that's a no for
I
me.
prefer white pizzas.
Yeah.
I also
I
like
won't
white
eat
pizza.
tomato sauce. I'll eat a white pizza. I just went to Pies and Pints and got a chicken bacon Gouda pizza, and it was delicious.
Those are great.
It was
So-
awesome.
So
I
good.
I don't like bacon.
I made homemade
wait.
pizza.
I don't like bacon.
You do
You also have a
homemade?
pet pig, so that makes sense.
Oh, I do. I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're Facebook friends now.
So I totally
Yes.
creeped you, and I love your pig. And I showed my wife. I was like, "She has a pig," because
Did
my
you say
wife
it that
wants a
voice?
pig
Yeah.
so badly.
Listen, don't get it.
I'm surprised you don't
No.
have one now.
Yeah.
So does your pig have any little pigs on the way? Because
She can't have any babies.
oh,
No, we took care of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that.
Is that
she was
a
ever gonna
problem?
find
Were
a-
you like worried that she was going to find another pig? You live in a neighborhood with a lot of pigs? Is that an issue where you're at?
when I was
You
a
never
kid,
know.
there was a pot-bellied pig that lived next door and would come over and eat all our dog food. And my little beagle just did not know what to think about this little pig. He would try to like snort at it. And,
Like your dog did?
yeah, my dog would like start
He's
making
trying to
it.
talk to it.
He's
That's
like,
really cute.
He's trying to speak its
and he
language.
would look at us and he'd be like, I don't know what to do because this thing's eating all my
Help
food.
me.
Yes.
Dude, my cats like torture my pig. Like they're all like I'll catch them cuddling. Like I have 2 cats. And I'll catch the pig like snuggling up against the cats. But if the pig's walking through her name is Gladys. And if
Oh my
Gladys,
god, that is the best pig name.
yeah. We try to think of a very piggish name. So Gladys is the pig. And she's tiny. But
Everyone named Gladys just turned the podcast off.
Fuck this podcast.
I guess that was kind of asshole. Oops. We're going to move along. We're just going to skim past it. But like Gladys will walk through the room and my cat will just like put her paw up on Gladys's back and just sit there. Because if anytime the cats touch her, she just freezes. I don't know why. It's like she panics and just doesn't know what to do. So she just stops moving. And she'll just stand there for as long as the cat's touching her. Like, and so the cats know she'll do it. So they'll just like put their paw up on her back and just sit there and wait and see what she does.
That's bizarre.
It's so weird to watch.
Cats are such assholes.
Yeah.
I'm a dog person.
I have a dog named Wilbur.
Yeah.
Did-
You know what? I knew that because I heard it on a different podcast.
I think we talked about in the last podcast how you save money.
By switching to Geico.
No, with
This episode's sponsored by Geico.
Hey,
Just kidding. We're not.
when you shower with dogs. I believe.
Oh,
Because
yeah, yeah.
Typing up a cease
We
and
did talk
desist
about
right
that,
now.
right?
I don't know if you
What
put
is
it on
it
the
on?
air.
You
I
shower
don't
with
know how to-
dogs?
Did we do it in the intro for last week's episode?
Who showers with the dogs?
No, we decided that you don't have any hair to actually shampoo, so you bring the dogs to get a lather, and then
To
Yeah,
get
it all
a-
made
And
sense.
just
It all made
rub
sense
the
when we were
dog
talking-
on me.
It made sense when we were talking about it, but
Was that in the intro for last week's
I
episode?
think so.
It probably
Looking,
was. Yeah.
looking back now is ridiculous because
Yeah.
Wait, so you have
You
5
obviously
dogs?
don't clean yourself.
We have 5 dogs and 3 cats.
Wow. That's like the dream. Like,
It's pretty great.
yeah.
We have blue heeler, red heeler, hound dog mix, corgi,
Oh my God, you have a corgi.
a terrier, and we have the 3 cats.
Tater has to be the best name for a dog that I've ever heard.
Well,
cool
so
name.
the way that he got his name. Well, I'll just tell you how we named all of them. I'm sure I've covered this on the show, but I'll cover it again just for people
I'm
who
always
haven't
down
listened.
to talk about people's
Yeah.
pets.
So my first dog was Rooster Cogburn.
Okay.
And I don't know if you watch John Wayne movies,
Yeah.
but yeah, okay. So True Grit, Rooster Cogburn.
I used to have a duck named Rooster.
Yeah. Well, so I called him that because
That's good.
my
A
dad,
rooster named Duck, because that'd be great.
they called him Rooster for a while because he is obsessed with John Wayne movies and can like just recite them word by word. So I was like, all right, I'm going to call him Rooster Cogburn. Well, then that's our blue heeler. Then after I met my wife, we got our red heeler, and she wanted to name him Pig because we would have Rooster and Pig.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of okay with it because there's symbolism there with the Navy. A lot of guys will get a rooster tattooed on one foot and a pig on the other, or a rooster tattooed somewhere and a pig somewhere else, because it's supposed to be good luck. Like if you ever go overboard.
I immediately go to Sailor Jerry.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
Because like the ships, whenever they would sink, like the crates would float to the top, supposedly. I don't know.
That would make you old McDonald.
Yes. So I didn't want to name him Pig because I was like, that's a stupid name. I don't like that. So then we sat and we thought about it for a while, and she was like, well, what about Wilbur? Because he's the pig from Charlotte's
Right.
Web. So we were like, okay, we'll call him Wilbur. That works. And it's a super fitting name because he's the worst dog ever. I don't know.
Like, is he bad at being a dog?
He's terrible at
Or
being
he's
a
Not good at
dog.
dogging.
yeah.
This dog, he's a healer. He's an Australian cattle dog meant
He's never
to
healed
herd.
one person.
Like this dog would run from a rabbit. Like he is scared of everything. Like you can't pet him very hard or he'll cry. Like he is afraid of the cats. He is afraid of everything. Everything. And he's a dick. He is such a dick. Just
Did you get along with him when you lived there? I feel like you guys were kindred spirits.
I love him.
Me and Duke and I, like, Duke
Yeah.
was my buddy.
okay.
Duke went from sleeping with them in their bed to sleeping with me in my bed.
Oh,
Our pig sleeps in our bed.
that's awesome.
I really,
Yeah.
I've always wanted a pet pig.
It's
But-
it's a lot of work. It's not like having a dog. Like she ate my floor, like linoleum flooring.
what do you
in my-
walk on?
Your floor.
Linoleum flooring, and I'm not talking like she got a hold of an edge of the. This was when she was a baby, and she was just eating everything. Like she just hadn't like. I mean, just like a puppy would eat everything, but like
Yeah.
she got a hold of the middle of the floor, and I don't know how she got it lifted up enough to chew it, but there's a 12 by 12 at least hole in the linoleum that I had to like super redneck duct tape down so she would stop eating it. And now there's just like a rug over top of it so nobody has to look at it.
Problem solved.
Like it's like my man solution. I'm like duct
Yeah,
tape
sounds
it,
like
put a
life.
rug on it.
Yep.
Like
What's up?
Sounds like life.
No,
yeah.
Put a rug
Duct
on
tape
it.
it and cover it up.
That's what Jed needs.
Yeah.
She ate a hole in my new couch.
Just a rug.
Ate a hole in your couch?
Yep, my new couch. Like where the cup holders are. Because the kids had like spilled a juice on there and I hadn't cleaned it apparently.
Oh.
And she smelled the juice and ate the
Just
fabric
ate it.
off.
Well, she was just trying to help.
Yeah.
Clean
Got
up.
it.
She's doing the best
I got
she
the
can.
stain out. There's no
Yeah.
more couch,
No,
but
she's super cool. She just like she requires a lot of attention. Like she's very, very affectionate, very sweet, loves to cuddle, loves kisses. Like if you walk into the house, she's either gonna scream at you for attention or she's gonna like lift her nose up in the air and wag her tail until you kiss her. Like she likes when people
It's
peck
like
her on the
Bubba.
nose.
It is like Bubba.
Yeah, you,
It's like
you got
whenever-
two dog names down.
whenever Jed gets
Oh yeah,
gets home,
I cut him off.
Yeah, Bubba
Jed
was,
comes in, lets all the dogs out, and Bubba just knows that he can stay inside. And Jed
Yeah.
picks him up and sings him
So
songs.
so now we're on to the third dog, my dog. So when Rooster was my dog until Jess and I got together. And then he was immediately her dog and has been since.
That's usually how that goes.
And when I got out of the military, we moved back here and we lived with my parents. And then when we went to school in Morgantown, we couldn't take two herding dogs to an apartment in Morgantown because we were going back to school. So the dog stayed with my mom. And I wanted another dog. So I was like, well, we'll get a little dog. So we got Bubba. And he is half West Highland Terrier and half Yorkie. And he looks like Toto. Looks just like Toto. And he got the name
Which is
Bubba.
weird because, he looks like all the band members in
Bless the
one
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. But he got the name Bubba because I could not decide on a name for him. I tried so long. It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I just could not come up with a name. And in the meantime, I had to call him something, and I just called him Bubba. And then finally one day I was like, fuck it, you're Bubba now.
Fuck it. I like that. That's your that's your major decision.
Yeah. So then we moved. We bought our house and we moved into the house and we brought all the dogs back together. Well, the problem that we had was that Bubba is a terrier and he's a fucking maniac.
Terriers are hyper.
We call him the terrorist, and he lives up to that name every day. And the other dogs are not. Like, even for cattle dogs, they have the weirdest dispositions. Like, they just want to nap and just lay down, and they don't really want to play. Like, they just want to be loved on. And so Bubba was always like 100 miles an hour, wanting to play, wanting to fight. And the other dogs didn't want to play with him. So we were like, well, let's get him a buddy. So we went down to the Humane Society, and we found this, what they told us was a beagle mix that was 1.5 years old. He was not a beagle mix, and he was not 1.5 years old. He was probably like 5 months old because he like tripled in size. And his name was Duke. So we were like, all right, we can work with Duke. So we named him Duke Silver. Like the
that seems that seems appropriate.
And then it wasn't too long after that. It was like 4 or 5 months after that, and we were like, dude, no more dogs. Like, we're done with dogs. We're done getting dogs. And then one of our friends was like, hey, I'm getting a corgi from this litter. Do you guys like want one? Because they still have some left. And we were like, okay, maybe we could do one more dog.
Corgis are so cute.
So we started looking into it, and we were just like, no, we really shouldn't. Like, we have enough dogs. We don't need to take on a 5th dog.
Sounds like me with our kids.
So
We keep ending up with more kids.
So we passed on him. And then 2 months later, our friend got pregnant again. And the son that had just been born was like less than 1 year old, I think. And then the 2 others, one was like 7 and the other one was like 4. And she was like, listen, I already have 2 dogs. I can't raise a puppy and 2 babies. Like, do you guys want... His name was Gino, I think. Do you guys want Gino? So we were like, well, yeah, of course. Like, don't send him to a shelter. Like, we'll take him. So then that's how we ended up with him. And then the reason that his name became Tater is, for whatever reason, my wife wanted to name him Potato and would not back down from that name. And I was like, we cannot call this dog fucking Potato.
My cat's name is Tuna.
So I was like, listen, how about Tater? Like, we'll have Bubba and Tater. And so then he's Tater. But it's funny because, so Duke and Tater, their names have kind of evolved over the years.
Duke just has
Duke, Doug,
yep.
Duggar, Duggerson,
Douglas,
Dukeless,
dipshit.
Dugan.
Dipshit. I call him dipshit. Whenever I lived with him, I was always up later. Everybody's in bed, and Duke would stay up with me. If it was raining, I'd go outside to smoke a cigarette.
He would stand in the rain.
Go stand in the rain, not doing anything, just standing in
Just
the rain.
look.
Waiting for you?
Just look.
No. Like, I was on the porch.
No.
He was just out there standing in the
Just
rain.
goes out there by himself
So,
and
yeah.
stands.
Oh.
Yep.
He's a big dingus. Like, he's a super dingus.
Like a turkey will look up into the
Yes.
rain until
And-
they
Yeah.
drown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that true? I mean, I've heard that, but is it true?
Well,
Probably
none have
not.
ever
Have we-
lived
have we-
to talk about it. But you can find them turkey jewelry necklaces.
Turkey claws.
Yeah, exactly.
I would do it.
But yeah, my dad, he never can remember Tater's name ever, and just calls
How do you
him
forget
by
Tater?
something with a T in front. So because of that, we've just, every time he calls him by a new name, we just add it to the list. So far we've got Tater, Taco, Timmy, Thomas,
Taco.
Tito,
You got a
And-
Titus?
I don't know all these because I don't think I've ever.
I think
been
that's.
around your
I think
dad
that's
there.
it. I think that's it.
Trevor, come here.
Trevor.
Titus,
Do your
Trenton.
dogs have
Like
like?
Trevor.
Do you only call? Do they have like a first name or do they have a full name? Like, do they have like a proper name?
All of them except for Tater have full names.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What are they?
Oh God.
Yeah, my animal names are long.
So
They're
there's
obnoxious.
Rooster J. Cogburn,
Okay.
which is an easy one, and then Wilbur's is Sir Wilhelm von Hattiesburg.
Is this on official documentation?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, there's birth certificates.
Duke's is Duke Silver, and then Bubba's is this is a hard one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try to remember all of it. It's Colonel Hubba Bubba. I can't remember where it goes from there.
You missed your calling. You should race horses in the Kentucky Derby. If you owned a
just
horse,
name them.
what would the horse's name be?
It would depend on the horse. It would depend on what it looked
gotta
like,
get
how
to
big
know
it
them.
was.
I got to meet them. And
Yeah,
what's your name?
You gotta get to know them.
I gotta know what kind of jewelry he wears.
We're not good at asking people their names anyway, so
No,
all right.
I always feel bad because that's like I never remember to do that in interviews.
Yeah, so
It's to like use people's names. So I'll talk the whole time, and then at the very end, I'll just be like, "Shit."
we even got these little like things to write
Yeah,
people's
to
names
put
on.
to put people's names on that
we
lasted
don't.
Smart.
twice.
We just draw
That's a
vulgar
good-
pictures on them and
Oh.
leave them random places.
I'll make a cross stitch to hang up in here, like a vulgar cross stitch.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
You still haven't seen in person the picture that Patrick gave us.
It's over there.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
Oh, did you
last time I was
see?
here,
Did
yeah.
you? Okay.
I don't get what it is. what
He
it
was
is.
just doing it to be an ass. That's
Oh,
why I said
okay,
that we
okay,
should
okay.
do one for him.
We definitely
Is
need to
that
do that
Zach
photo
Friends?
shoot.
What is it?
Is the Ron Burgundy thing? Is that
It's my Zach.
Zach
Krim.
Krim? That's what I thought. Yeah.
He's the one that drew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, He drew it for me whenever I had the cafe because I obviously Parks and Rec. Ron,
Ron
yeah,
man.
Ron. So superior Ron man.
I saw Zach the
love
other
that.
day.
Did you?
Yeah, he was going to
Miss him.
see Dark Phoenix. He was very disappointed.
Was he?
I could have told you that. I was.
I
not
saw
excited.
Godzilla and I was not disappointed.
I was like getting ready to go see that, and then I started playing Fortnite with Daniel, and then I was like, "Oh, look at the time! I can't actually go anymore."
Yeah.
So,
Daniel has a habit of derailing good plans.
yeah, he absolutely car wrecked my whole plans, but I had a lot of fun, and we got to win together.
Yes,
so
we did.
I still have yet to see Godzilla, but I am definitely a Godzilla mark. I love all the movies. I'm like excited, even though I know what's.
Did you love the Matthew Perry movie? Or not Matthew Perry?
I
Is
don't
that his
know.
name? No, what was his name? Matthew Broderick.
Did he
I was
play
like, Matthew
Godzilla?
Perry was
Yeah,
in a
Matthew
movie?
Broderick.
Like the ones from like the early 2000s.
It was like 2000, I think.
yeah.
See, I wouldn't say that.
It was just not Godzilla.
I know.
I liked it.
I liked it, but it wasn't Godzilla. At all.
I don't know when I fell in love with Godzilla movies. But like every time I go see them, I'm always like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And so I when I say I'm like a big fan,
So
I
have you-
probably like just 5 or 6 Godzilla movies, and I just love them. I don't
So
know why.
you haven't watched like a whole bunch of the older ones? Like the Johtos?
I have at least seen
Or
the
not
one
Johtos,
against Mothra
Tohos.
that was like in black and white, and it was just like claymation. It looked like
Okay.
fight
So
each
like
other.
I will say one thing that was really cool about this one was that it had a lot of like references back to stuff that happens in like the older movies.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were disappointed by the one that with the guy from Breaking Bad.
Brian Cranston.
Bryan
Yeah,
Cranston?
Brian Cranston,
Yeah.
because he wasn't in the whole movie. And
I
there-
liked it.
People were
Okay,
excited.
so I have an issue
enjoy
with
it.
people who say these things because they say the same thing about like King Kong. They say the same thing about Pacific Rim.
I love
and all
Pacific
these
Rim.
types of movies,
Like,
and they're like, "Well,
at
there's
me."
no plot line, there's no story, there's no character development."
what do you mean?
It's a kaiju movie.
Dude.
Like you're here to watch giant monsters fight.
Yes.
And
That's all.
This is like
That's it.
Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
You just got to see it.
You're not here for any other reason.
Yeah.
Like literally every time a person talks, they could just make fart noises with their mouth.
Wah, wah,
I
wah.
would
And as
still love
long as I'm still going to get to see giant monsters fight, I'm good.
That's the point.
I'm good. That's all I need.
Yeah, Pacific Rim was great.
Yeah, it was.
Did they make a second one that just like
They
didn't
did
go
Uprising,
to
and it wasn't
theaters?
great.
See, I didn't.
It went to theaters. It just wasn't good. Yeah.
I didn't know. If
Also, there's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode where they do Atlantic Rim. Boy, that's a bad movie. Like real bad. In a good way, though. I might go home and drink and watch it. Because I'm going to the DMV in the morning, so I need to numb myself a little bit.
I used to do.
we start drinking in the morning.
I used to hang out with John Barbario a lot.
That's unfortunate.
Back in college, Joppy Bo.
Unfortunate.
And we would look up. He absolutely loves B-level horror movies, like the worst possible.
Who doesn't?
Oh, my husband
Who doesn't?
does.
Yeah,
But that's
I love
all he
that
would watch,
stuff.
and we would sit.
Like Sabretooth,
we watched all this
Wendigo,
together.
Lake Placid.
We actually, at one point, we Googled the 50 scariest movies of all time, and we watched all 50 of them. That was fun, but there was also some really
Were
bad.
they scary at all?
I mean, I had John right there next to me. Joppy, he protected me.
He protect.
He protect. I always say that, but my dog protect the house. Like as soon as you walk in, he like brings out his man bark, and he's like, "Roar!" And then when he sees it's you, he's like, little puppy. But he protect the house. He protect.
See, I don't watch horror movies by myself. It's not because I get scared or anything. I like, especially I love watching horror movies with Josh.
Oh, because he gets so into it.
Oh, it's great,
Dude,
'Cause,
watching
you're
The Nun
a
with
movie
him the
and
other
you get,
night.
like commentary right next to you.
See, I can't do
Dude.
commentary when I'm watching something and someone starts talking. I'm like, shut
Oh no,
up.
he doesn't talk. It's just like
No,
his
he
body
just
language.
he gives like,
he gets,
he'll give the dumbest commentary. Like it's hilarious. Like you'll be watching and it'll be like the tension is slowly building and you just hear him whisper like, "Oh, the big heckin' spook."
So like D&D kind of.
yeah. It's like, but then he also has to have every pillow
Yes.
from the house, and he's just hugging
Socks.
them all.
Hugging them.
and just
Socks
watching it.
only on his toes.
Yes, only on his toes.
Wait, what?
He's got this weird thing when he says it's the only way that he can get the right temperature. He gets a blanket and he covers himself up with a blanket, but he leaves his feet out.
Okay.
And then he gets like 2 or 3 pillows and he holds them all. And then he puts his socks out on all of his toes except for his pinky toe. And if he gets too hot, he'll slip the ring toe out too. And then he just
That's
goes
the
back and
weirdest thing
forth.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's strange.
He's basically their 6th dog. Big heckin' spook.
Big heckin' spook. That's accurate.
Now that Josh has turned off the podcast.
Everybody shut
He
up
got
right
off when
now.
we mentioned Gladys.
Aw.
It's like, oh, that's my middle name.
At least we still have
Joshua
it.
Gladys. Sorry, you don't know Josh.
No, I don't.
No,
Sorry.
you don't need to.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's okay. He doesn't listen to this podcast anyway, so we
Josh.
can dog on him.
Ah,
So.
dog.
I get it.
All right.
How long? How
long have we been
going?
talking?
Now
Yeah,
20
it's been a
minutes.
while.
Hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Gosh, we should stop.
Yeah. Or we can, yeah, it's whatever. It's
You-
8
you
o'clock
want-
now, so I mean,
Is
it's
it 8
up to-
o'clock?
Yeah. So, yeah, we can get it wrapped
It's
up.
7:54.
We probably
7:54.
should.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Monday-
if there's anybody
Monday Night
listening
Raw
at this
starts.
point,
Yeah,
Good
if
for
anybody's
you.
still listening, at
good
this
for
point,
you. I'm really glad.
Drop a like and comments. Don't comment on iTunes because it doesn't exist. But
Yeah, they're deleting iTunes. iTunes is no longer a thing.
it's gone.
Just, yeah, they're doing away with it.
but Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Podbean,
Spotify,
Castbox,
YouTube. A lot of people listen on YouTube, so thank you guys for listening on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to launch my streaming site on our YouTube just to gain a few followers, hopefully.
Everyone can leave a comment for Gladys, and I'll read all of them to her.
Yes.
Oh, Gladys.
Yeah, subscribe, comment, what's the
Share.
other thing?
Share.
Rate. 5
Rate.
stars. We got a 1-star rating. Okay, somebody out there gave us
We got a 1-star rating.
1-star rating.
Gladys.
I was looking at it earlier today, and I saw a 1-star rating, and the rest of them are 5 stars. I will find you,
We got that.
and I will
Is it like an
scold
anonymous
you.
5-star or 1
Yeah,
star?
yeah.
Sucks.
We got that on the
It's
Decent
probably
Christian
Madison.
Talk podcast. It was like all these 5-star reviews and then 1 2-star review
Mm-hmm.
where it just absolutely completely like He's like, it sounds like you're recording this backstage on your phones, and this is terrible. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're
because
yeah, that's what
We're actually
doing
backstage on our phones.
yeah.
So.
So like, but he
Like
just
you try to get all this equipment backstage for an
listed
8-minute. Yeah.
all this stuff of all the reasons he hated it. But then his last little comment was, but Josiah seems to be pretty good at this, and people seem to like talking to him, so he's worth at least 2 stars. So I always give Gabe a hard time, like, I'm worth 2 stars. Like,
Do you know I already have my own haters
you do?
for D&D? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People,
got-
everyone that's on the actual podcast hates you.
But now listeners are starting to.
I'm your biggest fan. They hate me because I'm like,
They had a
Hamilton
guy.
is
They
the
had a
best
guy
character.
that messaged the D&D page just specifically to say that like he didn't like me. And then he's a Patreon subscriber too.
We
And
actually just did a one shot with him yesterday.
Yeah, so Michael's like,
He's awesome as
I'm
fuck."
gonna send you your dice, and he's like, these are the dice that Benedict uses on the show, and he's like, oh good, if they were Hamilton's, I was gonna tell you to keep them. Like, what did I do?
His character name in the D&D is Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
Okay.
And
I love Hamilton, and it might be a lot of Daniel's editing to make you sound entertaining, but
he does a lot of that on his own. I try to edit it to where he sounds smart.
I feel like you're the like, although you're a complete idiot, I feel like you hold to your character the most, but then you surprise people with like brilliant stuff. Like,
Well, I think what got me, it hurt a little whenever he said it about me, but
Yeah,
he
'cause
said he
that's
didn't
you.
like Hamilton because he thought that I was being lazy.
ooh,
Yeah.
man,
Like,
that
man,
does
I'm just
suck.
playing to my character. Like, I'm a level 6 warlock. I don't have any spells. We're getting way off. We should
Yeah,
end
I
this
have
episode.
no idea what's happening at this point.
Yeah, check out our other podcast.
We're doing that thing that we do.
Yeah.
See-
D&D kind of.
See if you hate Hamilton as much as the
Yeah.
rest of
Let me know
everybody.
if you think I sound lazy. Okay, bye.